I'm excited to announce my all-new mattress topper. In the times we're in, I wanted to bring you the best affordable mattress topper ever. So I took my two best technologies and combined them to make the ultimate mattress topper. And now you can get it for as low as $69.98. Queen size only $99.98. It all starts with my famous MyPillow foam that provides you that overall full body support. Second is the individual comfort supports that give you an amazing custom sleep experience. It's like it's made specifically for you. The queen size alone has over 14,000 comfort supports. This is the perfect mattress topper to improve any bed. New bed, old bed, your guest beds. Get them for every bedroom in your house. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get the all-new My Mattress Topper for as low as $69.98. Queen size only $99.98. Don't delay, order today.
Gene Valentino's Grassroots podcast. He tells the truth. He tries to get information out there to make sure people make good informed decisions.
Gene Valentino, good morning and good afternoon from, where are we? I can say, I know where you are, but do you want the world to know that?
Oh, that's okay. Gene Valentino from Pensacola, right, Florida, with Michael Ryan.
Yes, Michael Ryan. They only say Michael Ryan when I'm naughty. So I took hear that often, I think. First of all, you're a political strategist, podcast host. You are so up to speed with most things that I'm absolutely rapt to have you part of my show today. First one, what's your thoughts on the assassination attempt? And the second thing, your thoughts on, it was a bit like F-Troop. I mean, I've just seen a video. The Secret Service were trying to get through a fence because there's a big fence around and the gate was locked. I mean, what's your thoughts on F-Troop and the attempted assassination of Donald Trump?
Well, first, thank you, Mike, for having me on your show. This is an honor to be with you. It's always been a quandary for me. I wonder, what would someone in Australia really know about the story? What would someone in Sri Lanka, London, North America, South America know about what really happened in the last few days here in the United States? This is an unprecedented situation. What I know is that the senior head of the Secret Service is Kimberly Cheatle. Her head's on the block because of her mismanagement of the Secret Service affairs and the level of security, not only at this event last Saturday, the 13th, but to another candidate who wants to run, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Ironically, his uncle and his father both assassinated in their attempt to run for office. And modest security conditions and provisions prevailed for Donald Trump. It was falling on deaf ears when they asked for more Secret Service assistance. This Kimberly Cheatle couldn't even be found for 24 hours. She was at a conference when the crisis hit and was unavailable to the rest of the security services for a public news conference in the actual timeline of when it happened. This is a breach of security on so many levels at the local level, and I'd be happy to focus on that, Mike, with you. This sits against a bigger backdrop, Mike. This sits against a backdrop of a president, President Biden, who 8 times since his inaugural address has said he wanted to bring the United States on a path of unity. He wanted to unite the country. He did the opposite. He not only did the opposite, but let me be very clear. When those George Floyd death occurred, there was Black Lives Matter and Antifa groups going nuts around the country. Not one building was burned after Donald Trump's attempted assassination. Not one store was looted in the aftermath of Donald Trump's attempted assassination. The MAGA folks are not animals. They have a position, a good position. Yes, I'm a conservative and I am a Republican, but that doesn't mean I think all Republicans stand high and almighty. To the contrary, they are challenged. They are challenged during a debate process and a process where there's a primary, where people get to see the credibility and the character and decide how much confidence they want to give a certain candidate they're going to support. The Democrats are a cabal of the have and the have-nots, funded by a George Soros, who works in the background not only to manipulate political candidates on the administrative and legislative side, but right in front of your nose, here he is working with DAs and prosecutors to help indict a president who campaign openly to talk about that they when they get in there, when you vote for me and I get in there, we're going to take out Donald Trump. Well, when you use words like take out Donald Trump, this is a rage of rhetoric that has to stop. Do you remember Kathy Griffin? We're going back to 2017, Mike. Kathy Griffin was a comedian.
No,
she
wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny at all. She had held a mock head of Donald Trump that was decapitated and bleeding. That's funny. I'm trying to figure out what has happened in the disease. What has gotten these folks so enraged that they're not only going, and by the way, Donald Trump is the most recent attack. It was only a few years ago the Republicans were attacked on a ball field by a shooter. Going back to John F. Kennedy into the 60s, he was a Democrat. Since then, how many Democrats were assassinated or gone after by Republicans? Said differently, how many Republicans have been gone after by Democrats? It's not only, and now they want to call a timeout and, oh, let's calm the rhetoric and let's calm this rhetoric down and cool all this noise. Let's get along again. After you've murdered people, after you've destroyed cities, after you move behind the scenes and continue to move behind the scenes to promote a fascism and socialism in the United States, which is directly impacting our U.S. policy in Israel. Do you remember it was only weeks before the Israeli attack in the Gaza that the United States was coming to a peaceful alliance with Saudi Arabia? Now they're not talking and can't talk, and everyone's arming up with missiles. And you know, a lot of that, Mike, is just a continuation of bad people trying to manipulate a constitutional republic, the America, which works within a democracy. And this democracy is now, the door is now swinging back the other way, Mike. And we're watching the grassroots of people from all sectors, I was going to say all sectors of this nation, all sectors of this world, that have come to appreciate America and what it stands for. We're a benevolent nation that has always historically given to the world, but it's now time for the world to help us out a bit and let us get our own house back in order. And it starts with a secured border.
And it also starts with better global diplomacy. The absolute vile, filthy rhetoric coming from the Biden administration, not Joe Biden, because he wouldn't know if his pants are on fire, or he can smell that hair. I mean, look at Donald Trump. He knows there's not a whole lot of hair there anymore, so better get cracking, as they would say. But Joe Biden is not running the country. You got the administration. You look at the efforts in, whether it's the Middle East or whether it's in Europe, gearing up for a war. They would love a war because it's a great distraction. I think you're right, though. I think the American public has said, we've had enough of this and time to get our house in order, because in America it does get slagged a bit, but you are the world police. And I know that the American public sometimes get a bit tired of it, but you are the world police, or you come to most countries' aid. At the moment, you'd have trouble putting out a bushfire or a wildfire in your own country, because from Secret Service to Homeland Security to the FBI, I mean, they're all like the Three Stooges. Mayorkas, who is it? Mayorkas, Cheatle, and Ray are very much like the Three Stooges. And unless you clean that out and get that working, I can't see the US being the force that the world needs to be. I think it's a great country, but you need to get your own, as they would say in the classic, you need to get your own shit together.
Well, that's true. Mayorkas, appointed by Biden, who actually appointed this Kimberly Cheatle. Oh, by the way, this director of Secret Service, Kimberly Cheatle, she was working at Pepsi for several years before she took a job in Secret Service. She was a Secret Service agent, just like many of those you saw surrounding President Trump that day. That young lady was boasted about being head of security for Pepsi. She was never head of security for Pepsi. In fact, a gentleman who was 21 years head of security at Pepsi complained that she was taking the title of head of security when she wasn't. It was Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife, that suggested to Joe, "Hey Joe, why don't you put Kimberly Cheatle in as director of Secret Service?" And he did, under Jill Biden's request. This was not the best person for the job. This is more of that DEI, got to check the box with race, creed, color, and sex issues to fulfill some DEI requirement, instead of looking at the merits of an individual and becoming blind to all these other statuses. We need the best people doing the best job. And they can, to protect you and me, irregardless of race, creed, color, sex, sexual preference, and anything else for that matter. We need the best person doing each job. Back to your issues in Butler, Pennsylvania, some of the police there with police uniforms on were actually Secret Service, I'm told. Some of them were told, "Oh, there's a slight slant in the building. We can't have any Secret Service agents up there on a slant in the building." Well, the killer didn't mind the slant in the building, and he made his way up that roof. And the Secret Service and people had video showing the man on the roof. Where was the Secret Service? I submit, sir,
they were at the gate. They couldn't get in because the gate was shut. And it's a footage of it. Whoops, do you have the key? Oh, what's the combination? Look, we have to go more because the show is fun-filled and full of excitement. I just want to know, just answer me one word, and that's hard for you, I know that, but a one-word answer. Who is the president?
Okay.
Who is the president? Is it Jill, Barack, or Joe?
Constitutionally, the president is Joe Biden.
Who's running the country?
Jill. You wanted one word? It's Jill.
Oh, that's it?
I'll give you two answers. Jill and Hunter.
Yeah. He's on the trail. He's on the cocaine trail.
Just sniff around the aisles in the White House and look at the white powder on the floor. You'll find out where he is.
But see, that's the Secret Service is still trying to work out where that cocaine came from in the first place.
Oh.
I wonder who that was.
Yeah, I wonder where that came from.
Yeah, well, it gets down
in the
to
White
hunter,
House. What a disgrace for the world to see that.
Who is the hunter and who is the prey? The man with the cocaine.
But I'll leave you with this. The door's swinging back the other way, and I submit to you we'll have a better America than ever before, and we'll be back on our game, earning the trust and confidence from the rest of the world.
Gene Valentino, thank you very much. This is TNT.
Throughout history, the spirit of patriotism has prevailed. The battles may have changed, but the values remain the same. Today, in 2024, we find ourselves at a pivotal moment where the call for unity, freedom, and a better future echoes louder than ever. For more than 10 years, Patriot Mobile has been committed to supporting the values that make our nation great. With affordable plans and reliable nationwide coverage, Patriot Mobile is not just a wireless service. It's a call to action for those who believe in the American dream. Because this year is not just any year, it's the most important year since our nation's founding. Choose a wireless carrier that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.